Now, when I say that God loves, I guess I've been preaching that message long enough to know that when I say that, there's some people who are like, you want to have this discussion? You want to have this discussion right here? God is love, is he? God's love, is he? Fine, you want to have this discussion right now? Let's have it. And then, because I've heard that so many times, and then out comes this story. And the story is, if there's really a God of love, you say he loves, okay, fine, let's have this discussion. If God really loves, then how could he possibly? And then out comes X. Something happened to you. Something was done to you, something was left undone, something broke your heart, something left you alone, something devastated you. And you cannot reconcile that with the message that God loves. I'm sorry. I really am. And I want you to know that the only way out of that box is to embrace God's love as it really is. What you've done, I'm sorry to say this, and many have made the same mistake, we've all fallen into this. But you have self-defined God's love. You have said that it must be thus and so, that this is my concept of love, and God himself, the one who made me, must conform to my view of love. He better get on that program. And you didn't mean to do that, but isn't that really what you've done? And would you just give me just a second? I'll just take 2 or 3 minutes to do this. Could I have you think again about how a God, the real God, the true God, could I have you think about what it means when it says he loves? Because it isn't always what we think it is. For example, I think most people would agree that love involves protection. When you love someone, you protect them, right? And if someone was going to hurt your wife, would you try to protect them? Would you try to protect her and keep something? Would you do that? Would you step in? Would you do something? Would you do that? Okay, I agree. God's love's a bit different than that, though. God's love is a protecting love, jot this down, but it's not a preventing love. Okay? God doesn't just always jump in and prevent things from happening. You're like, well, I'm glad you asked that, or you raised that, because I want to know why he doesn't do that. Okay? Here's why. Because God's got higher purposes than your pleasure or lack of pain in the next few minutes or weeks or months. God's got a higher purpose. Sometimes God does not prevent things. Let me say it in the other way. God allows pain. He does. You say, well, I don't like it like that. Well, then go make up a God. Okay? But the real one, he allows pain. Why does he do that? Well, he allows pain to humble us so we see how much we need him. Now, I could go right up and down these rows and I could point to you to people. You'd have never found God. You'd have never found God. You'd have never found God if he hadn't humbled you. If he hadn't allowed some pain to come into your life. And I'm going to ask you something. If you would have never found God without that pain, then isn't it true that in some sense that was a very loving thing for God to do? That was incredibly loving of God to allow you to go through that, to not prevent it when he could have. Because that's the thing that broke you. That's the thing that brought you to your knees. That's the thing that caused you to see how much you need him. I'll tell you what, 100 years from today, as awful as that was, you'll thank God for that. Where would I be in eternity itself if it weren't for the thing that God allowed? He loved me. He loved me. Protecting but not always preventing. He allows pain to humble us so we'll see how much we need him. He allows pain to refine us so we can be more like him. And you think of the person, I say to my wife, I hate to think of the person that I would be apart from God in my life. I just hate to think about where my personality, without God's refining influence, without God allowing painful things into my life, what kind of person would I become? What kind of husband would I be and father would I be? What kind of man would I have become without the things that God has allowed to refine me? Looking back, his mercy I see. Looking back, his love and mercy I see. He's loving. He is loving. But his protection is not a preventing always, not always. Last thing on this, sometimes God allows pain to restore us. Some of you, you're sitting here right now. You were so far from God. You were off on your own, running far from God, going who knows where with your life. And God allowed some painful thing into your life, and you came back. You came back to God. And if he hadn't allowed that, how loving was that of him? Could he have stopped that? Yes, he could have. Does he sometimes stop things? He often does, protect his children. But sometimes he allows pain. He doesn't prevent it. And I would submit to you that that might be the most loving thing that God's ever done to you. God's love is a protecting love, but it's not a preventing love. And God's love is a providing love, but it's not a pampering love. God does provide. People are like, yeah, well, I'm funny you raised that, because I've been like asking God for a new car for like about 4 months now. And oh yeah, you're on the Genie God program, are you? Look, God gives us what we need, but not always what we want. It's not a pampering love. God gives us what we need, but not always when we want it. You know, I need it by Friday, God. Yeah, well, we'll see how you're doing Monday. And God gives us what we need, but not always how we want it. Sometimes we ask God for financial blessing and he gives us contentment. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the money. Well, you're not God. Let's let God be God. Choose him. He's loving, but not always the way we think. Here's the best single word that I think can describe God's love in your life. It's a perfecting love. You are under construction, my friend, and God is working on you. And there will be hard times and difficult times, but you can trust him. Nothing comes into your life but that he chooses to allow it. Nothing comes into your life but that he is committed to using it for your good. Nothing comes into your life but that a loving father isn't measuring it out and watching in every moment. How much can you handle? How far will it get you? He loves you. Listen, his eyes are upon you. You are never far from his thoughts. He counts the hairs on your head. He saves your tears in a bottle. He loves you with an everlasting love. But let his love be what it really is. It's a perfecting love. I choose God's love.